When God wanted to raise David, he didn't give him a crown, he gave him a giant. When God wanted to prepare Moses, he didn't give him a platform, he gave him a wilderness. When God wanted to deliver his people, he didn't give them a clear path. He put a sea in front of them and an army behind them. When God wanted to bring down Jericho, he didn't ask for weapons, he asked for obedience. When God wanted to position Esther, he didn't give her comfort, he gave her a moment. That could cost her everything. When God wanted to shape Joseph, he didn't give him success, he allowed betrayal, slavery, and a prison. When God wanted to establish Daniel, he didn't give him influence, he gave him a lion's den. When God wanted to correct Jonah, he didn't send advice, he sent a storm and a fish. When God wanted to teach the disciples faith, he didn't remove the waves, he let the storm rise. And when God wanted to save the world, he didn't send comfort, he sent a cross. So let me ask you something. Why do you think your story would be different? You keep asking, why me, God? Why this pressure? Why this situation? Why this pain? But what if the question isn't why me? What if the real question is, what is God doing through this? Because if you look closely, God has a pattern. He doesn't build people through ease. He builds them through pressure. He doesn't prepare you in comfort. He prepares you in conflict. He doesn't shape you where everything makes sense. He shapes you where nothing does. You want clarity. God gives you trust. You want answers. God gives you silence. You want the outcome. God focuses on the process, and it feels backwards. It feels unfair. It feels like you're being overlooked or even punished, but you're not. You're being formed. Think about David. Nobody volunteers to face a giant. He was just a shepherd, unknown, unqualified. But that moment, that impossible moment, was the very thing that revealed what God had already placed inside him. The giant wasn't there to destroy him, it was there to introduce him. And maybe the thing you're facing right now is doing the same. Moses didn't become a leader overnight. He spent years in a wilderness, alone, hidden, stripped of everything he thought made him strong. Why? Because the man who thought he was ready wasn't, but the man who came out of that desert, dependent, humble, aware of his weakness, that was the man God could use. The wilderness isn't where God forgets you, it's where he prepares you. And I know it doesn't feel like that. It feels slow, it feels quiet. It feels like nothing is happening, but something is happening in you. Israel stood at the sea with nowhere to go, trapped, no options, no solutions. And it looked like the end, but it wasn't. It was the setup, because when the sea opened, no one could take credit for it. No one could say, "We figured it out." They had to say, "Only God." And that's the point. God will allow situations in your life that you cannot fix, not because he wants to harm you, but because he wants to reveal himself. Because if you could fix everything, you wouldn't need him. If you could carry it all, you wouldn't depend on him. If you could solve it, you would take the credit. So sometimes God lets it become impossible. So when it shifts, you know exactly who did it. Joseph didn't grow in comfort. He grew in betrayal, in confusion, in being forgotten. But those seasons didn't destroy him. They positioned him. They built something in him that success alone never could. And that's what you have to understand. God is not just concerned with where you're going. He's concerned with who you become when you get there. Because if he gave you everything right now, without preparing you, it wouldn't bless you, it would break you. So when you ask, why me? Maybe the answer is, because God sees something in you, something worth building, something worth refining, something worth preparing, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it hurts, even if you don't understand it yet. You're not being singled out to suffer, you're being set apart to grow. But here's the real question. Will you trust him in it? Will you keep walking when nothing changes? Will you stay faithful when it feels quiet? Will you keep showing up when it feels heavy? Because faith isn't proven when everything is easy. It's proven when everything is uncertain. And maybe, just maybe, you're not behind. You're not stuck. You're not forgotten. You're in the middle of something being built, something you can't fully see yet. So instead of asking, why me, God? Try asking, what are you preparing me for? Because the same God who allowed the giant brought the victory. The same God who allowed the wilderness led the way out. The same God who allowed the cross brought the resurrection. And he hasn't changed, not then, not now, not with you. So hold on, even here, especially here, because this might not be the end of your story. It might be the moment that defines it. Amen.